Here we are again. We join you this week with a classic, I believe Argyle would be the pattern here on these socks. These are from a friend of mine's wedding, and again, one of my favorites. They go along with the LiveWell colors, and they just seem to be pretty eye-catching. So, these are the socks today. We've got another great exercise program for you coming. Again, try and do this multiple times throughout the week. You might be practicing these exercise sessions on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and walking on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That would be an ideal schedule for you to ensure you're keeping strong, your posture is strong, your balance is improving consistently, and basically so that you can live a happy, healthy life. With that being said, we'll go ahead and get started today. Who has had issues with their sciatic nerve? So that's one of the common complaints that we hear pretty often, that numb, tingly pain going down the leg, starting at the buttocks, the butt cheek, and going all the way down the leg. So we hear that quite often. So yes, we're going to start with a sciatic nerve glide today, starting our exercise session, but can also be used at any point when you start to feel a bit of that pain. Okay, so we're going to be on our back. And what we'll do is we'll pull one leg in. So we're going to pull our leg into hip flexion. We're going to have a small bend in that knee, and then we're going to slowly point the toe and pull the toe. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll go ahead and switch sides here. So right leg, pull that hip back. Again, small bend in the knee, pointing the toe, pulling back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, go ahead and relax. The next one we're going to do is going to focus here on the back side of our leg, our hamstrings. All right, so we're going to do what's called a hamstring diver. Okay, so we're going to basically push our hips back, our arms will go out in front. We're going to create a hinge at our hip, all on one leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, we'll go ahead and we'll do the opposite side here. So left leg now planted, right leg will send back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Take a small break. Set number 2. So one thing I want you to focus on here for this set is when you send your leg back, it should almost go in a straight line, okay? So if you felt yourself kind of rotating here as you sent the leg back, go ahead and limit that range of motion. So don't send that leg back quite so far so that you can keep yourself in a nice straight line. All right, we'll get into 10 each side again. I'll start with my right leg planted. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll go directly into that left side. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, halfway. 'And relax. Next one we're going to get into is going to focus on this hip here, otherwise known as kind of our hip flexors. So hip flexors close the hip, so they're basically going to bring the knee up. Alright, so we're going to do 12 each side. I do want us to stay on the same side as opposed to going into a march because I want to avoid any sort of rocking. Alright, so what I want is for each of you to sit up nice and tall. We're going to start with our right leg. We're going to lift the leg without any sort of rocking. Okay, so right leg, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good. Now, you should be lifting that leg as high as you can without any movement, as I was saying, side to side. So just lifting as little as you can is not going to get that muscle engaged very much. So again, lifting as high as you can without breaking form. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 11, 12. So that was probably a little bit more challenging than you had expected, right? So you got that concentration of the muscle engagement right here at the hip. We'll get into a second set here. Again, going to feel it a little bit more the second time around. Right leg, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right over to that left side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. And take a break. Squat. Alright, so you've already probably noticed my legs are super wide here. I want legs outside of shoulder width. Alright, so our legs should be wide. It should almost feel a little bit uncomfortable. Alright, from here is what we're going to focus on is driving our knees out as we push our butt back and down. Alright, for For the sake of this, I want you to put your fingers together as if you had a weight in your hands to prepare for the future, okay? So, as I was saying, butt back, butt down, driving our knees out. We've got 15 reps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5 to go. And rest. Into a second set here, again 15 repetitions. Is what I'm going to show you is this movement here from the side. So again, our back stays nice and flat the entire time, okay? One of the biggest things that we hear is low back pain, okay? We have to strengthen everything to reduce that low back pain. We only do so by moving correctly and focusing on movements and techniques that are directly going to affect the back, okay? So from the side, same thing, feet wide, bend the knees, hips back, butt down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 3 to go. And rest. Bring our feet back in. We are still going to focus on that hip flexion pattern, okay? So we are going to go with a small bend in the knees, pushing our hips back. From here, we're going to work our shoulder blades, or our back side, basically, of our upper body. Okay, so slight bend in the knees, hips go back. I want your hands down, a small bend in your elbow, and then you're going to go ahead and take your arms out to the side. All right, we've got 12 repetitions here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, halfway, 12. Nicely done. Similar to our sumo squat, I want to show you again, my back stays flat throughout all of these movements, okay? If I don't have a flat back, I'm really going to be setting myself up for injury, okay? So even if you have to have less of a hinge, okay? So for example, I can get to about here with a nice flat back, okay? Now, you may not be able to do so. At this point, you may lose that tension and you may round, okay? This does not get you back to a flat back, because when I stand, I'm overarched, okay? So, come back to the top, send the hips back. Again, if it's here, if it's here, if it's here, whatever you can get to, go ahead and find that position for our bent over reverse fly. Okay? 12 reps again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Another form of our diaphragm breathing. So we've done this in the past, and one of the keys with this is when we breathe in, we actually want our belly to sort of expand with air, and then as we blow that air out of our mouth, we're going to actually contract the abdominals on the way down. Okay? The difference here is we're going to be in what's called a 90-90 position. So we're going to basically take our hips to 90 degrees, okay, so that would be about right here, okay, and then our knees also go to 90 degrees, okay, so our knees are bent at 90 right here. From here, we're going to take a 4-second count on our breath in, which goes in through the nose, and then we're going to try and blow it out for a count of 4, okay, I want you to go at your own pace here. We are going to do 10 reps. I've reached my halfway point. And relax. Now, that may have been a challenge for some of you, especially if you weren't here for the first time that we did diaphragm breathing. So if that was a challenge for you with your legs up and your knees at 90 degrees, it does create more of a complex movement. So I do suggest going back and practicing that same movement, but you're just going to have straight legs. For now, let's go ahead and take a break before we move on to the next exercise. So our next one's going to be a stretch, and we've done this one in the past. It's going to be our upper trap stretch with assistance. The keys with this one are we don't want to necessarily pull down on our head, but just kind of make sure that we are getting that full range of motion. And the reason that we do this one is because these muscles up here, they get super, super tight at times, and it's going to help to release a bit of stress and tension from those shoulders, okay? So without just kind of coming down, all right? So we're trying to focus on this left side here. So we're going to take our right ear towards our right shoulder, and then we'll take our right hand and place it on top of the head. We're going to try and hold here for about 30 seconds. Again, we are not pulling down. We are just holding that stretch nice. 2, 1. We'll release our hand and then go ahead and take that head up nice and neutral. And then we'll go over towards the other side. Alright, so left ear towards the left shoulder. Remember, keep those shoulders relaxed. We don't want to shrug this shoulder to pull it up because that's going to negate everything that we just did. Alright, shrugging this shoulder would tighten this muscle. We just loosen that muscle with our stretch, so make sure that your shoulder stays down. Alright, so left ear to left shoulder, and then left hand comes up on top of the head. Try and relax your right shoulder as well here. So if you can, just almost let that arm become super, super heavy. Seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the hand and come on up nice and slow. So the next one that we're going to do is going to be focused again on our back side of the upper body, and it's going to focus on protraction and retraction of the shoulders. Alright, so I make that motion with my hand. So when I protract my shoulders, so basically when I pull my shoulders forward, my shoulder blades end up going into this rounded position. Okay, so they kind of tilt forward. When I squeeze my shoulder blades back, it's the opposite. So they start to come together. Okay, so that's exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to have our hands on the wall. We're going to protract, so basically create a hunch in the upper back, and then pull them back, squeezing those shoulder blades. Alright, one thing I want you to focus on here is not so much of a motion of this muscle, this upper trap muscle, rather your shoulder blades. So think about a little bit lower into your back. Alright, let's go ahead and do 12 on the wall. So arms at shoulder height, and again we're going to protract, retract. 1, pro, re, 2, pro, re, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so that movement was a little bit different. Probably nothing that you've ever done before. Okay, so one of the things that we see with that one very often is when we are trying to protract, we start to just bend those elbows, we come forward, and that retract is just a straightening of the elbows. So if that was happening to you, don't worry, it happens pretty often early on. But again, just try to keep those arms nice and straight as you do it this time. You might have less motion within the shoulder blades, but that's okay. You're training your mind and your body to create that connection so that all of the other movements will become more synchronized and in turn much better. Okay? So we'll do 12 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the trickiest part is going to be the setup. Okay, so what I want you to do is you are going to use an exercise band. We're going to have the handle, and I want you to put your hand inside of the handle, okay, so that the cloth is actually on top of your wrist here, okay? From there, I've got the band, and it's going straight down, okay? I'm going to keep my arm at 90 degrees. I'm going to put some pressure into this band pulling down, okay? From there, I'm going to rotate my wrist into supination, okay? And I'm going to hold for 10 seconds, okay? We've got 5 reps here. It's just going to be a rotate into our hold, okay? So, again, pulling down on the band slightly, rotate, and hold for 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull down, rotate again, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pull down, rotate, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 2 more. Pull down, rotate, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull down, rotate, and hold 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so we'll go ahead and switch over to the other side. Now, as what you should have felt, so as what we're aiming for here is basically this band should have been pulling your wrist to rotate inward, okay, to rotate your palm to face down. All right, so that's the way that band tension should be. You're fighting that band tension by rotating the palm up towards the ceiling. All right, so if you didn't feel that, go ahead and make the adjustment. Again, hand inside of our handle. The cloth sits on the back side of my hand. My arm is at 90 degrees. I'm going to pull the band down, and then as I rotate away, I'm going to hold. All right, so supination, think about palm up. If I had soup in my hand, I wouldn't want to carry it this way. I would want to supinate. So that soup sits in my hand. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull down, rotate, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull down, rotate, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more. Pull down, rotate for me, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull down and rotate, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax. Well done today, guys. I'll see you again next week. The last week in June, June 29th, we'll be back here again for another exercise program. Thanks again. Have a wonderful week.